All right, so today's project, we are going to be replacing the bushings on this front end loader. The bushings here and here are pretty worn. Actually, this pin won't even go through because they're misaligned. This one is cracked and mushroomed out. So the first thing I need to do is get the bale spear off, so that way I can access the bushings, and then we'll get them out, put the new bushings in. Everything should line right back up, and we'll be good to go. So here is one of the bushings. As you can see, that pin is sticking out, and it's not even coming all the way through, so there's some misalignment issues there. And the other side, you can see the crack down there. So that one is in dire need of replacement. I have the front end down as far as it'll go, so that way I can lift it up just to kind of take off some of the pressure of the pins, so that way I can pop them out. So just a little bit, and then we'll see if they start coming out. Okay, that one come out just fine. Free. This one should come out even easier since it's not even all the way through. That one's free. Now the top one has got a little cotter pin in there, so let me get that out. Actually, that side, I'm not sure if it is going to come out or not. It's kind of mushroom. Oh, it is coming out. Okay. So I'm going to stand right here. This is going to flop over. Okay. There we go. So here is the driver's side pin. As you can see, there's a crack right here, and it goes all the way through. And it is oblong quite a bit. This side, not looking much better. It's been replaced at some point in time, but you can tell by those welds, it's definitely not factory John Deere. Okay, so I've done these before, and the way I like to do it is I'm just going to take a grinder and just grind this all the way down until I can see that it is flat with this piece of tubing. And I'll weld that down to where I can see the line of separation. And I'll do that both sides, and then I'll just knock the bushing out. So that way I shouldn't have to re-drill holes. And that way I keep the factory holes there, so I don't have to worry about misalignment. So let's start with that. Before I do any grinding, I need to do a measurement for the actual bushing, so that way I know what to look for. It didn't take long to get through one side of that flap disc, and now I have a nice clean surface. And also, you see this ring all the way around. That is the actual bushing. Let's see if I get it. There you go. You can see that line right there. That's the bushing. So it's been separated from the tubing that it's in. And so I just clean off the other side, and then I'll take a chisel and hit the inside list, and it'll break right out, and I'll keep the hole that is already in the tractor. And so that way I don't have to re-drill those holes, and the alignment stays good, and everything is already cleaned and ready to weld. So that's a little bit better. You don't need to squat down when I don't have to. Ground down, pretty much flush with here. You can see the outline of the bushing. You can clearly see it there. And that one. And then the first one. So now I'm just going to take a chisel and hit that with a hammer, and hopefully it comes out with little resistance. But if there is any resistance, probably just going to take the grinder and clean it off just a little bit, and it should come right out. Let's give it a go and see how well these come out. There it goes. One bushing is out. Now to the other side. I have a feeling this side is going to come out way faster because it's been previously repaired and the hole is a little more oversized than that one was. Boom. Okay. Old bushings are out. They're already prepped. I'll probably go in there and just clean up the little pieces that are there. That's what it looks like with the bushings out. As you can see, this one had been repaired back here because it's more, it's not a perfect circle. But by grinding all the way around and then just pushing them out reduces me if I were to get in there with a torch and slip up, and now I have to do all kinds of other repairs too. It's been a pretty accurate way to maintain the holes that are already there. So that way you just get a new piece of bushing, put it in there, and weld it, and it's been a good way that I've found. I'm sure there are more than other ways. This is how I do it. Okay, so the old bushings are out on the left, nice and crappy, and on the right, some new cut bushings, so let's get them put in. Okay, so when these got taken out, one of them had definitely been replaced, and I'm not so sure both of them had been at one point in time. But anyway, instead of the holes coming out nice and perfect, the front edge of pretty much every hole is oversized in this direction, and it makes sense because all of the wear is going this way because of all the weight. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to get this alignment right, since these holes are not going to perfectly sleeve the bushings, but I'll show you how to get them through there straight so that way they align up to your attachment. In order to keep these bushings straight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run them through this piece of round stock. Like so. So that way it is connecting both of the bushings. So that way it is a straight shot from this bushing to this bushing. That way they're not going to be crooked or twisted. And then when I get them set into the appropriate position, I'm going to clamp them to this cross member, so that way they are pulling back, and this bar is keeping them straight via the back side of the bushing. And then I'm left with all of this sloppy opening here in the front. There's some here. This side's worse than the other, but that's okay. I'll tack them here, and then I'll test the attachment just to be sure the alignment is good, and then I'll weld it fully. So that way, if I need to make a correction, it's easier to cut a tack than a whole weld. So let's get that done. Okay, I've got it strapped into place. There's my bar going all the way through. And so it's pulling it, so it's tight up against this back side This outside isn't so bad, but you can see there's a little bit of gap there, but it's definitely worse on the inside. But I'll do a pass to fill that in, make it look like it never happened. Same thing here, a bit of a gap there. This side wasn't so bad at all. So, all right, let's get it tacked in, then do a test fit. Okay, so it's tacked up. Take the straps off. We'll do a little check fit. Okay, let's see how well the pins fit. I'm pretty close. That side went right in. And that side went right in. I'm happy with that fit. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off, and then we'll weld it all up and get this tractor back to work. Okay, let's finish welding it out. Bushings are in and welded. A little paint on there. I know I didn't have any green, but I'm gonna get a little grease, lube up the pins, put her back, and this one's done. All right, there you have it. Bushings have been replaced. Movement is nice. All I need to do is put a few cotter pins in the pins to keep them from falling out.